Hello everyone, this is Sheshe, and today I'm going to come on and make a card. A lot of these products came from AliExpress. I'm going to be using these really pretty embossing folders, and it's an A2 size card, and there's like this trend going on where actually I'm going to do a technique, and it's kind of like the embossing folders where the top is a different pattern and the bottom is a different pattern, and then there's like some type of, I'll show you the design, like this little design in the middle, and you can stamp a sentiment. But I'm going to recreate this without using that type of embossing folder. I'm going to do this on my own. So I'm going to use these two embossing folders. I have the sentiment. It says sending you a bucket full of kisses, so I thought that would be appropriate for the love and the roses. I'm going to use this die set. It comes with 4 pieces and it has these stitched curved edges, so I'm going to use this one. It goes like this, and I love this one because you can do so much with this edge. You can even make a heart rosette, so I do have on my channel how to do that with this type of edge, but I want to use this for something different, so stay tuned for that. So I'm going to use this sentiment, and you'll see what I do with this sentiment. Then I have my card base, the layering piece, and this is for the sentiment, using some Versamark ink and some gold embossing powder and some adhesive, and I may use some foil tape. So this is optional. So sit back and enjoy the process. At this point, I am cutting the curvy border edge on my panel, and I'm going to cut it again so that I have a label for my sentiment that says sending you a bucket full of kisses. So I'm just making that template. And next I'm going to cut the white label, and that's where I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to set up the next piece. So you will see that I use some scissors to trim out the label. So next I am embossing both panels with the rose and the love embossing folders. These are just really beautiful embossing folders. So I'm just laying out the card and how I want everything to lay out on my panel. So this is where I trim out the white label that my sentiment will lay out. So next I'm going to add some foil tape to the sides. I really like to do this on all of my cards, well, most of my cards. And I'll just trim out the extra piece of foil tape. I get this from Michael's. It's a Recollections brand. So now I have the sentiment sending you a bucket full of kisses, and I just want it to curve, so I'm just setting that up on my stamping tool. And I use the EK Success tool to make sure that the embossing powder does not stick. So now I am going to melt the embossing powder. It's gold. And I'm going to zap that with my heat tool. I use Versamark ink, by the way. So it's at this point, I'm right-handed, and I just need to switch hands to get the the heat to melt the powder. And so it's nice and shiny. So now I'm just laying out the card and I'm going to tape everything down. And at this point, it may seem finished, but I just want to add a few more touches to the card to make it extra special. So I'm adding some tape. This is double-sided sticky tape. So you may want to stop there, but I don't. I keep going. So you'll see what I do next after I add this final layering piece to the card. I mean, it's a really beautiful card at this point, but I just want to add that extra special shiny bling. So I'm just adding the final touches of adhesive. I did want to pop this up at this point, but I decided against it, and I decided to add some Versamark ink to the top embossed roses. So I'm going to add some gold embossing powder. This was a last minute thought. I probably should have done this before I added it to the panel, but it was just a last minute thought and I decided to do it at the last minute, like I said. So we're going to see how this turns out. It's a risk I was willing to take, but I liked how it turned out, and I didn't want it to all be gold. I wanted some red to show up. So that is why I decided not to do the whole panel gold. I wanted some of the red to show through. So I do add some more Versamark ink just to give it a little bit more of that gold touch. And I think it turned out really nice at this point. I just love how that looked. I was thinking about doing the bottom as well, but I think that was enough gold as it was to just do the top layer. But you know, you can experiment and try both ways if you like, or just do the bottom. So here's the finished card. I hope you enjoyed this process video. I think it turned out really nice. So I hope you enjoyed. Take care, everyone, and have a fabulous day. And I'll also show some pictures at the end so that you can get a closer look.